Hello everyone and a very warm welcome. In this particular tutorial, I'll demonstrate to you the form creation and form filling workflow that you can use in SharePoint. Before we get into the demo, let's quickly understand the use case. In the modern era, the PDF forms offer a practical and efficient way of capturing and managing data. That is why it is widely used in the business. However, when it comes to SharePoint, we do not have an efficient way to create a form or save the form back. As of now, the process works like this. If you have a form, you need to create the form in your local computer, upload the form. The user who wants to fill the form has to download the form again, fill it and re-upload it. Now, that being said, this creates a lot of confusion. In addition to it, it is time consuming. Every user needs to have a form filling application on their computer. And finally, your compliance goes out of the window because you are downloading the file and your file actually leaves the SharePoint. Will it not be nice to go ahead and create the forms directly in SharePoint and then save it back in SharePoint without the dependency of any third-party application installed on your computer? Yes, that is what I'm going to demonstrate. In this demo, we will first create a form and save the form back into SharePoint. The form should also not override the existing form template. So we are going to set up some no-code logic to implement that. On my screen, you see a document and let's edit this form. One of the prerequisites would be to install the Muhimbi PDF editor. On your screen, you see that I have got a form. The form has no fields. If I want to create a form field, how do I create it? I simply click on the icon up here and click on Form Creator. So let me quickly create few form fields out here. I'll rename it. Similarly, I will create form fields out here for first name, last name, email. If you see, I get lines out here which helps me align the fields properly directly in the browser. So you get that rich experience when it comes to using the editor, even the browser. I will add a phone number. So I'll also add a signature field. And finally, I will add a date and time field out here. Perfect. So now my form is ready. Now there's one thing that I need to do. I need to go ahead and submit the form back into my SharePoint. So to submit the form, I need to add a button. So let me quickly add a button out here. And I'll name this form field. Okay, this is very important. The form field should be named as Muhimbi _form _submit _button. Okay, this name should be there for this particular submit button. This submit button will go ahead and help us with the form creation or the form submission workflow. At this point, I can save my changes and my form is ready. So let's try to open this form and view the form that we just went ahead and created. The form fields are there. Let's consider that I fill in the form and click on the save button. What will happen? Any guesses? This form will override the existing form in the document library. In addition to that, there's another thing that I wanted to mention. If I edit the form as an end user, I can also go ahead and add fields or delete the fields simply from the form. For example, I can go into the form creator and I can just select a form and I can click on delete field. I can select a form field and click on delete field. I don't want that to happen. I don't want my end users to go ahead and delete the form fields. I want to log the form as well. So let's quickly think about the workflow. So firstly, I want the end users view only form. That is, they should not edit the form fields. Secondly, I don't want the end users to override the form. I want to save the form with a different name, perhaps to a different location. And finally, what I can tell is that when the form has been submitted to a different location, maybe I want to redirect it back to the original location. So to accommodate these particular functionalities, let's create some columns. So here I'm going to create 3 columns, right? So the first column is that we need to specify a form owner. Nobody other than the form owner should be able to go ahead and edit the form fields. So the first is Mohembi form owners. It's of type person and group. The second one would be Mohembi form submit file path, where I want to submit the form. So I'll just go ahead and leave it as single line of text. And the third and the final field would be a hyperlink. It will be the form submit redirect URL. So when I submit the form, where should it redirect it to? Maybe it should redirect to a main page, or maybe it should redirect back to a different document library. So now that we have these fields ready, so let me quickly edit the properties of the document and fill in the columns with the relevant data. So let me click on more and let me click on properties. So first I will put in the form owner. The form owner is Clavin Fernandez, the user that I have logged in with. The form submission path, I want to submit the form to the form submitted library, that it should go to the submitted form library. The form submitted should have a unique name. Let's say that it should have data science underscore the username who submitted it. Perfect, right? And then I will go ahead and post a redirect URL. So the redirect URL would just be the form submitted URL. So it should go to the destination document library. That's my use case. At this point, I think this looks good, so I can just cross it out. And if I refresh, I should have fields filled up. So let me quickly open an incognito window and log in with another account to this particular document library and look at the behavior. So I'll put it here. I'll quickly log in with my test account. So quickly, let's look at the behavior. So I'm logged in with my test account, and let me edit this file. Understand this, the owner is not the test account. So here, my friends, you see, there is no edit options available out here. So let's say that I have a knowledge level of expert. My first name is Clavin and my last name is Test. I'll just put in my email, clavin.test@pspdf. I'll put in my email address, clavin.fernandez@mohembi.com. I'll put in my phone number. I can also sign the document, so I'll just type it in. I can also import an image or draw a signature, but I'll type it in here. And finally, I'll select the date as today's date and I'll submit the document. So it tells me, do you want to submit the document? Yes, I want to submit the document. It's saving the document. It says that my document has been submitted successfully. And here, my friends, it redirected to the submitted document library. At this point, if I just click on this document, my form filling is done. So this was a quick demo. Thank you for your time. Have a great day and bye-bye.